Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our special summer edition, talking about one single Chinese character a day. Today, we're going to talk every day is an interesting character, but today I feel like it's especially interesting because it's talking about our society before as a hunter-gatherer society. We have a tree symbol and we have eyeball symbol in this character, 象. 像, or 香, it depends on the context, I guess. Then you can pronounce it differently and use it differently. And you can see a ton of translations from this simple looking character. And I find the character, as it gets simpler and simpler, it may gain some superpower because of its simple visual representation. Then it becomes like less specific, more like easier to get generalized. Therefore, it gets more versatile. It gets more meanings can be deduced from it. So today is one such versatile character, 香 or 像. Okay, translate as a says. I guess if we translate it as a says, when it's a verb, well, there is actually no verb translation of it, but that's the original meaning of it. I mean, I'm ignoring Google Translate. It doesn't know better. I'm the language user. I should have known better, right? Okay. 像 should be the falling tone, should be the translation, because when we say 像, that means the action of assessing. And if we say 香, that actually is an adverb, means mutually. That's more flat. It's not as action, because a lot of Chinese words are action words, are falling tone, probably to give a certain force to it, to let the language user know this is happening, this is action, right? So 像, a says made out of a tree symbol and an eye symbol. And you can see both the tree and eye are pretty realistic rendering of the physical world. The tree symbol, though, I used to argue, okay, the top portion is the canopy of the tree, the bottom is the tree trunk, because what distinguishes a tree from grass or shrubs or the other type of low-hanging plants are the outstanding elongated tree trunk. So I was like saying this emphasize the space from the canopy to the ground level is huge. Therefore, there's a spacer. But when going back further into the history or the original rendering of the tree icon, we see here clearly, this is the canopy, the top, the tree trunks, branches, all that represented by this trident shape. And then there is a distance of the tree trunk. The bottom, pretty far away from the top, is almost like a mirror image of that. And that must be the root of the tree. And if we look at it as the root, without visualizing the ground level, like the ground horizontal line was omitted from this picture, we just show the visible portion of the tree and the invisible portion of the tree, kind of a mirror image of that is enough to tell this is tree, because I guess only trees need to grow their roots so deep, almost like as deeper than the canopy portion for it to be stable, to stand that tall, right? So the root and the canopy is this bottom and the downward upward turning curves. Okay, an eyeball, you can see original eyeball looking like that is kind of a rendering of the, I guess, this side of the eye. And then it got abstracted into this oval shape with two horizontal lines. So instead of drawing out so much things, it got simplified into that. And I want to point out our eyes, right? It's horizontally elongated rectangle shape. Why eventually become vertically elongated shape? It's because it's easier, it's more economy for spatial economy. That because most of the Chinese characters are formed by left and right structure. So horizontal economy is more expensive, so to speak, than vertical economy. So this horizontally, you want to save as much space as possible. So if you write it in this way, so see if you combine this and this together, it's not as relaxed as if you stack up this, right? So the economy of space determines the eyeball got 90-degree rotation, but you can still see it's an eyeball, right? It just got more economy. Okay, so what do you mean? Assess an eyeball and a tree. Sorry for my lighting, it's going out. It's a bad brand. Anyways, I'm not de-influencing them. It's none of my business. I mean, it is my business. I'm going to fix it. But eyeball and the tree pairing together, it simply means humans, eyeball, a tree. Because in a hunter-gatherer society, to accurately tell what the tree's fruit or use of that tree is critical to your survival, right? You want to be able to distinguish, is it edible fruit or is poisonous? So for eyeballing that tree, that assessing the edibility of that tree, it's super important skill back then. So therefore, we have this eyeballing tree as assess. That's the original meaning. And then there's assess meaning, meaning checking out something, right? And then this checking out, then because it has eyeball in it, it more becomes like a visually representing something or visually understanding something. So we have face, 像. We use a 像. Well, I guess that's a translation of 像. It means okay, when it means a phase, that means a segment of time, right? So I guess here assess means every time you have to assess something, it's not permanent. So therefore there is this window to it. So each time assess it, therefore this segment of what you assessed becomes this phase. Okay, a little bit extension. But then photography, 相片, I guess because it involves looking. So therefore, this 相片, 片 means something kind of sheet of paper shape. That makes sense as a translation for photography and a photo, right? And 相 also means posture. So I guess not only we as hunter-gatherers, looking at the trees, right? This posture means self-awareness. We are looking at each other as well, like human to human. We're assessing each other as well. Therefore, to keep a good posture helps with how people assess us. So therefore, here, 相 can extend into posture, appearance, bearing as well, right? And this picture and a photo, portrait, they're all related to the look of something that came from this assessing, human assessing trees. Eventually become self-aware, human assess human. You want to look better, right? And I guess this human look at human extension then become this mutually, because while I'm looking at the tree or I'm looking at another human, I'm being looked at the same time. We're mutually assessing each other, right? And then adjective, that's just automatic extension. So here I'm translating assessing, this is 像. Instead of a tree hugging, I'm showing a tree hugging experience, photo, literally like tree hugging. To tree, seeing, eyeballing means seeing, understanding, assessing that tree, right? If it's edible, so that's the origin of 像, assess. Cash intelligence of thinking about, well, what did I wait, Sophie? See you another.